I don't blame the players for maybe not pushing the envelope, but you do wonder if there's a limit to how effective this is going to continue to be. Because although the supporters in the building are on their side, what is their ultimate leverage here?
It was the second week of player protests in the USL Championship. Players in solidarity with each other and the players' union to have the moment of stillness once again.
Yeah, the moment of stillness, as our friend John Morrissey called it. I guess we're accepting that as the nomenclature for this. A couple of videos here just to illustrate this. Grabbed, let's see, make sure that we're all set here. Grab this one from, I believe this was from, oh man, where did I see this? Instagram. This is Instagram. I gave you the name of the account, Rob, if you want to give us that name. Dibble.
Oh, man.
You didn't write it down like I asked you to write it down? You didn't write it down.
Dibble Trickle or something like that.
Dibble Trips or something like that. So again, this is Rhode Island. Just a quick look. You can see it's already cycled through. This is a quick video. Stillness, right? People in the stands moving, players standing still. Also have this shot from our friend Soccer Night in Detroit, who posted this over, I believe, on the Discord. And this is the players in Detroit at Keyworth. Obviously, a very vibrant atmosphere always. Look at that crowd at Keyworth. They show up.
It was so cold. It was so cold this weekend.
Very cold. So cold, by the way, the Detroit City FC's had to move their Open Cup game to other indoor environment, which is difficult, I'm sure. But you can see this is from Soccer Night in Detroit. This is the fans all just there. And let me put
And they're saying players first.
Yeah, just to give you a sense, the fans are on board with the campaign from the players to get better treatment. New member, shout out, K_B is a member. I think Bob gave us another gifted membership, so I think we're up to 4 or 5. Keep that going, guys. Keep that going.
Yeah, there's a bonus segment at the end of the show if we get to 10.
We were talking about this. Okay, here we go. This is Armando hooking us up with the name. Dribble Trips, big Rhode Island FC supporter, has a YouTube channel where he travels to smaller teams in the U.S. Great stuff. Thank you to Dribble Trips. I wish that had pulled over from Instagram. I want to give proper credit. Go support him. So we talked about this on Friday, Rob. Like, what do the players do? Do they do the same thing they did in week 1? Do they try to push it beyond the opening minute? Is there, I mean, obviously we were all wondering if they would pull the trigger on the strike. Clearly that didn't happen. I still think it's very unlikely we see a strike. We got minimal updates as to progress made last week coming out of the meeting that happened on Wednesday. Further reports, and I think we tapped into a story by Tom Hindle at goal.com that had a couple of more details on maybe where they were and how far apart they were on a couple of things. I don't blame the players for maybe not pushing the envelope, but you do wonder if there's a limit to how effective this is going to continue to be. Because although the supporters in the building are on their side, what is their ultimate leverage here?
Yeah, I mean, their leverage is what they provide. I mean, without the players, there isn't a game, obviously, and that is the product that the league puts forth is the games, and so without the players, there isn't a game. And I think with this second week, we were wanting to see what the escalation was, and it was continued unity was probably one of the biggest things gained, that like in the second week, all the teams continued to do so. They got some support from the MLS Players Union in a statement, I think on Friday ahead of the weekend. But also, I think that, I mean, DCFC fans obviously were engaged in it. We heard a standards chat, standards first chant, something along those lines in Rhode Island. So fans are engaged and they're knowledgeable of what's going on. So they're showing the unity of it. But obviously, it's not enough, or it hasn't yet been enough to cause action from the league. So would it require further escalation to make this happen? I mean, more minutes of the stillness? Do they add the stillness in amongst, like in the middle of a league, like maybe in the 26th minute, they stand still for a minute so that it's harder to navigate?
That. How do you do that? The ball goes out of play somewhere around the 26th minute and you stop playing. Like, and again, you know, the part of the deal here is that it's easy to coordinate. You tell all of your reps in all of your clubs, hey, we're not moving for the first minute of the game. The kickoff is we're just going to delay the kickoff for a minute and just to make our point. If you try to coordinate something else telephone game happens, or it doesn't happen the way you want it to. It loses its impact. You're confusing people around what you're doing. Man, I don't know.
I mean, okay, so I think the example of this is, you remember when games all across the world were taking a knee at the beginning of the games? And after a while, that kind of like lost its value. And then it was just a thing in the pregame routine after a while. And did that, create any sort of long lasting impact outside of, maybe small incremental gains, but basically it became like kind of symbolic, then it became routine, and then it just kind of quietly went away? Is that what this is going to turn into? Just like, oh, okay, they're not playing for a minute. We had another minute of stoppage time at the end, maybe. But like, I feel like there needs to be some sort of an escalation. If there's no kind of breakthrough in a negotiation session this week, there's got to be an escalation of some sort.
Now, Chris is saying take it to 5 minutes, then 10, then a sit-in. I mean, that, again, those are extremely dramatic statements or steps for the players to take. Now, we mentioned the stand up for standards, or stand for standards. Hypation in our Discord posted a video in Rhode Island of that chant. So let's see if we can hear. I think we're ready to go with this. Let me see if we can hear a little bit of this.
Stand for standards. Stand for standards.
So that's the stand for standards chant that was happening there in Pawtucket as the fans were supporting the players.
Mr. Bob throwing his comments in the mix. Expanding length in the stillness time starts affecting the media revenue, which only benefits the USL. Stillness time will affect USL. And I think that the fans getting in the mix, essentially, I mean, obviously that sends a good message to the players that the fans are on their side. I mean, imagine if the reaction was, booing that, or throwing stuff on the field, or telling them to get on with it or something. There'll be, a different sort of reaction. And I think that adds some meaning to it, that the fans are on the players' side of this. So that could possibly add some leverage to the negotiations. I imagine that they're going to meet again. You'd think this week. They've been having meetings every week for for seemingly months and years on end. But we'll see what happens. See if there's any sort of resolution. It doesn't really seem like resolution is about to happen. It might take something dramatic. I mean, we learned last week that the kitty for a strike fund is about $400 a week for the players. So not a whole bunch. That's almost just like basically like an unemployment check, so to speak, like just kind of a fraction of what take-home pay would be ideally. But we will see what happens next in week 3 of the USL Championship season.
Yeah, I'm wondering if look, the fans want to go see some soccer. They want to support the players. Yeah, while they're there. A boycott by the fans is certainly a message sent, right? Even if you buy your ticket, even if you take your ticket, even if you show up to the game, if you walk out as a unit, as a fan base, as a supporters group at some point, and now you're not buying the drinks, now you're not buying the gear, now you're not buying the concessions, now you're not putting money in the pocket of the team, who we learned last week is struggling just to make ends meet because everybody loses money in this game. And again, that's a point of leverage on the part of the USL. Then that would certainly send a message. Now, the USL doesn't have enough money coming in from broadcast partners that this kind of action on the players' part is forcing the broadcasters to say to the USL, hey, what the hell's going on? You're hurting our product. Like we're paying you for your rights, and you've got this stuff going on. Fix this. Like that's the pressure really that might make this thing crack open.